Welcome back to Escape to the Magic podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Randy.
I'm Dak.
And I'm Ryan.
And this week we give our thanks.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving. So
tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow. So this episode drops the day before Thanksgiving. So we're probably all running around, getting things ready for the big day. I will not be running around. I will be...
No, you're running around.
Where are you right now, Dad?
Yeah, I will be in Disneyland Paris when this episode drops. So that will be exciting for our family.
It's bogus, man.
No, super excited.
Actually, I am thankful that you get to go and do that.
Yeah.
And come back and tell me all about what I need to look forward to.
Yeah, that'll be an exciting day to come back and kind of talk to everyone about what to expect and what it was like, maybe some do's and don'ts.
But you know what's really cool about that is you're now going to be able to stick another feather in your travel agent cap, right? When you're back, you're now going to also add to your vast arsenal of expertise, of Disney expertise, the world of Disneyland Paris. So for all of you that are out there listening and you're looking forward to your next vacation and you're wondering, how do I put this together? What do I do? You know, a Disney trip, no matter what it is, can be complicated. It can be a little overwhelming. There's timelines and deadlines and all sorts of things you got to fit into certain things. Reach out to Dak, certified Disney travel agent, runs his own agency, Castles, Kingdoms, and Churros. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so Castles, Kingdoms, and Churros. You can find me on Instagram if you're looking to get some quotes to go to the parks and escape to the magic. I did that.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, you know, again, to Randy's point, Disney World, Disneyland can be a little bit overwhelming, especially if you've never done it before, or maybe it's been a couple of years since you've gone. Things are constantly changing there. So I take a very soft approach. I'm going to talk to you about your family and what you guys like, what you don't like, and maybe build a trip around it. Again, my goal here is for you to have an amazing time at Disney. I'd love for you to use me as a travel agent, but even if I'm just giving you some, fun, friendly advice, that's the most important thing so that you can have an enjoyable trip. So find me on Castles, Kingdoms, and Churros on Instagram.
Yeah.
Send you a message.
Send me a message. Yep.
No obligation, absolutely free. Escape to the magic.
Have him help you out.
Right.
He's such a nice guy. Dak is a nice guy. If you can't tell just by his voice, you should see his smile.
Yeah.
Just a nice guy.
He is a pretty nice guy. So it's Thanksgiving.
It's Thanksgiving.
Ryan?
Yeah. So I had a question for you guys. So how long has Christmas music been playing in your house?
In the house itself?
Yes. Or in your car?
In the car, I officially started it on November 1st.
Okay, so you are a Christmas right after Halloween guy.
Yeah, well, look, we record these episodes at my home. You guys notice when you came, like the Christmas lights are on the house. Yep. They have been on since November 1st, right? They've actually been on the house since September because that's when the people that come and hang them for me do it. But I don't turn them on until November 1st.
Okay.
Because Halloween's important. We talked about this in our Halloween episode. I don't want to diminish from Halloween. If it was just me hanging them on the house, I wouldn't hang them before November 1st. But since they're there, I'm going to turn them on.
Yeah, we're November 1st too. So we follow the Disney way, which is the transformation of the parks
overnight.
From Halloween to Christmas overnight. We do the same thing. Like the minute the pumpkin clock strikes midnight on Halloween night, we are getting our Disney Christmas going. And we do. So if you came to our house, it's no surprise. We have our own Disney Christmas tree, ornament tree. We love it. Every time we go on a trip, that's kind of one of our memorable things that we do is we pick out a couple of ornaments each time we go to the parks or if we go on a cruise or anything like that. And then my wife, she has started collecting Disney nutcrackers. And so I even built her a little display table this past year where she can display all of her little cute Disney nutcrackers that she has. And each year, generally speaking, the parks will come out with a new nutcracker. And then, of course, all the different ornaments that they release. We love them.
That's awesome.
And let me tell you, I love Thanksgiving holiday. We talked about, I know you got, first of all, I love Halloween too. I would say Halloween is probably my third favorite holiday after Christmas. And I think Thanksgiving is my second. I've always loved Thanksgiving. I've always loved this time of year. The weather cools down as much as it does here in Southeast Texas. It does cool down some. I just have always loved the feeling of family getting together, being thankful and grateful for things, eating some good food. I'm still kind of an old school guy. I guess to a degree, I do miss, shopping on that Friday after Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Maybe not so much getting up at 4 a.m, but I used to, my wife and I used to get up and go together and kind of miss that to a certain degree. I mean, online shopping has just become, I guess, the way of the world now.
Boring.
It's kind of boring.
It is.
It's very boring.
I will get with you on that 100%. I miss that shopping experience. Tell you what I really miss. I miss the thrill of putting together what my plan was, what my shopping plan was. You get the ads.
Yep.
You didn't know what they were going to be.
Yep.
Right. And then all of a sudden, a few years ago, some people started leaking them online. And now all of a sudden, the companies, they just put it out way in advance. They're like, there's no need to hold on anymore. Everyone knows. I miss being able to put together that plan, figure out what it is. I agree. I didn't really miss getting up in the morning, but there was a lot of excitement around, oh, wow. Part of how I express things to others is in generosity and in giving. Mm-hmm. And I miss the ability to be excited about what I was going to score for someone. You know?
Yeah, because you never would know. You go to the stores, they would have these doorbusters, and you're like, oh, what's the doorbuster going to be? I'm just going to be in line. What am I going to find? I miss that. I guess this is a Thanksgiving episode, so I am grateful for the memories that I have from the times of yesteryear, which weren't that long ago. We're talking, 5 years ago, maybe at the most, when really they transitioned really away from that Black Friday shopping. So I just love this holiday. I love getting together with family and friends, and kind of taking some time off from work, and maybe watching a Disney movie on Friday. When do you guys put up your Christmas trees? Are you guys also? So we're talking lights on the houses.
Yeah.
Trees up in the house.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I think because
I have been limited only by time.
Yeah.
But this is when I start to get things
I don't think
out.
I have my outside up yet, so I will take that back.
We take a little bit of a break from Halloween through Thanksgiving. So we kind of get our house back to normal. And then usually, the week of Thanksgiving we'll start
week
pulling things
that is
out.
Traditionally when the inside of the house will fully transform, right? So there is, our Halloween stuff was down. Kudos to my wife Kayla she got the Halloween stuff down. There is still fall decor that is up, and that is appropriate for Thanksgiving, and so that will be there. And then probably Thanksgiving week is usually when we make that full transition.
Yes.
And everything comes out. And of course, you guys have been in my house many times over the holidays. You know that it is a full transformation
Absolutely.
of my house inside and out.
You guys have like 20 trees in here or something like that.
Last year I had 7.
Yeah.
I intend to add another one this year.
Wow.
And so, I love it. It is my favorite time of the year. And I'm grateful. Hey, see what I did there? I'm grateful for the opportunity to kind of experience all those sorts of things. And one of the reasons why I love talking about it is because Disney does Christmas, in my opinion, better than anybody.
The best.
I mean, there's just no comparison.
Yeah, if you love Christmas and the holidays and everything that goes with it, being in a Disney park, whether it's Disneyland, Disney World, I'll be able to report back about Disneyland Paris, but everything I've seen online is that they do it the same way there. Even on the cruise ships, they decorate everything up Christmassy. It is just like some of the most peaceful, life could not get any better moments have all come when we've been at the parks when Christmas is going, and they got the Christmas music in the background and all the decor is up, and they just go all out. I mean, every resort has Christmas trees in it and Christmas decor in it, themed to that resort's genre and theming within the resort itself. And so it's just, you're right. No one does it better than Disney at Christmas time.
And being that this is a Thanksgiving episode and we were talking about things that we are grateful for, I did come across a list a few days ago. And you know what? I did not have this author's name, but this author wrote just a few things as to why she is grateful for certain things that happen in Disney. I thought it'd be kind of fun to kind of talk about a few of these and maybe share our thoughts on these things that this author was grateful for. Because I think, honestly, just going through this, I'm like, yeah, I don't disagree. I completely share this author's thoughts and opinions on these things. So number one that she said was, she is thankful for family memories. And I think, we talk about this a lot, and I think we get questions. At least I know we all get questions from, why do you do Disney the way you do it? And it's actually not that hard to describe and explain, because do you see the pictures that we posted online? We make so many incredible memories at the parks, driving to the parks, staying on property, staying off property, being together as a family and friends, and sharing these experiences. And we talked about this, it's like when you're at Disney, it is that time to kind of push the pause button on life, and you get to kind of take a break. And when you get to kind of not worry about what's happening at home, what's happening with your job, and you can't 100% get away from that, but maybe 95% get away from that and just focus on spending quality family time together. And when you can do that, and you're in line at Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, or you're in line at Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, and you're chatting, you're talking, you're sharing stories, you're playing heads up on your phones, like those are some of the most amazing core memories that we have made in recent years.
Yeah, I would agree. So I think that that's one thing that if we're doing a thanks Walt, thanks Disney episode, the memories. So we moved away as a family. We moved away from the gift giving. I mean, we still give little trinkets and little smaller gifts, but we moved away from some of the bigger gifts, and we really try to do activities or events or these vacations. So again, obviously we've mentioned it 4 or 5 times now today. Disneyland Paris is one of those moments, right? Because we want to create memories as a family that are going to be lasting for us and our girls. I mean, we love that philosophy, and Disney provides for me and our family a great opportunity, like you say, Ryan, to just spend time, a lot of times one-on-one, on occasion, if you look for it with one of your kids or with your spouse or whatever, and just kind of build those memories with each other.
Something that Disney excels at so well is the ability to capture moments, right? And to kind of record it. They do it great with photographs. I have a couple that I think about that kind of stand out in my mind about unique experiences, right? My youngest son, Henry, he absolutely is a roller coaster junkie. The bigger, the more intense, like that's his thing, right? He wants to demonstrate to everybody that he's a man. Yeah. He might be 10, but he's a man. Okay. And that's what a man's going to do, is he's going to go ride that scary roller coaster. I remember the first time he was able to ride Rock and Roller Coaster. And look, Rock and Roller Coaster is an intense coaster. It has high speed. It's got 2 inversion loops. It's got, a little bit of corkscrew in there, a little bit, tiny, not huge, but it's in the dark. And it's a launch coaster, right? 0 to 60 in no time at all. And the best part about that ride is that the photo is captured during the launch.
Yes.
Which is what catches most people off guard. I have 2 photos back to back of Henry riding that ride. And in both instances, his eyeballs are as big as saucers. I mean, just absolutely huge, right? Where we were able to capture the holy crap moment for him, right? For eternity.
Oh my gosh.
And it is so cool. And I love that we have that, because that was an expression that without that picture, I would have never known. There's no way for me to have been able to look over and see his face in that moment without the picture capturing it. You get to see some really cool things. And I think about another experience we had where, as a family, and this was just last year, it was a Disney first for us. We went to the parks wearing our pajamas.
Nice.
Oh wow, nice.
And we went for a Christmas party, so it was a special ticketed event, and we were out during the day, and it was getting a little chillier at night anyways. And at a certain point, this is a thing my high school age sons have been doing for a while anyways, which is wearing pajamas as if they're regular clothes.
Okay.
I don't know why that's a thing, but that's a thing. But we were going through, and one of my sons was in a shop, and he found some pajama pants, some Disney pajama pants, Christmassy. And he's like, yeah, I want these. And he got them. And all of a sudden, just spur of the moment, this idea came to us that what if we go tonight and we're all basically wearing pajamas? And so we've got a ton of pictures of us in the Magic Kingdom at this special Christmas event wearing Christmas pajamas.
Nice.
How cool is that?
That sounds like a blast.
You could do something like that. And those are the types of memories that we've been able to make. And by the way, that was the time, we've talked about this before, but that was the time when my family was able to take over the Space Mountain queue and get everybody to start screaming and cheering for, that it was just, again, those memories that you create together. Man, I wouldn't trade that for anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. So another thing this author mentioned was, and I think this is something that unless you have been to Disney and had interactions with their cast members, you don't fully appreciate what they go through and what they do to make your park experience that much better. So this author says, be thankful for cast members. And I could not agree more with this sentiment. I think, again, talking about memories, I think I could probably list the number of times that we have had an interaction with a cast member that has made our trip so much more special, or something was maybe going not the way we had planned, and a cast member came to the rescue and made it a magical experience. One particular experience I remember back when our kids were a little bit younger, the Disney Junior Dance Party, they always would choose someone to announce over the loudspeaker, welcome to the Disney Junior Dance Party. Yeah. This is what's happening. Let the show begin. And they chose my middle one at the time, who was probably maybe 6 or 7, maybe younger than that. But they got her on the microphone. They gave her a script to read. She read it. They gave her this certificate when she was done. The cast members were like, great job, Morgan. You did such an amazing job. And it's like, listen, we've been to other theme parks, and the level of customer service that these cast members provide to make your trip that much more magical cannot be overstated.
Yeah, it's unprecedented, right? I mean, Disney is the foremost leader, I think, for a lot of companies that base their performance and the way that they train their staff and their employees behave is modeled after Disney's, customer service. So I couldn't agree with you more, Ryan. I think they do a phenomenal job. And I mean, every workplace is going to have people that are having a bad day or, going through some things personally. So it's not like every single cast member is this way, but it is so much so that I have experienced, and I've had other friends and family that have gone that have experienced, where you kind of, if you've been there for a week or so and you get used to this level of customer service and the way they take care of you, and then you go to the Walmart afterwards and you're like, hey, wait a minute, you're not supposed to talk to me that way. Don't you know who I am? And so it is, they make you feel special, and they go out of a lot of times they'll go out of their way to make sure that you're having a great experience, which I can totally buy into. I mean, that's the whole reason why I got into being a travel agent on the side, is like, I want people to have a great experience when they're at Disney. I want them to love it at a level that, hopefully I love it. So totally agree.
And it's so amazing, right? They're these cast members and what they do, their performance is great, but it is part of it. A little bit is a performance, right? Yeah. They are cast members. They have a role to play here, and they understand what that role is, oftentimes in costume of some sort, right? And I'm not talking about like the people in the parade or the character meet and greets. I'm talking like the folks standing outside of Tron, or the folks at the Jungle Cruise or Big Thunder Mountain, all in their specific attire to that attraction to help you feel like you are part of the magic too, and the way that they treat you and help you get there. Now, Zach, I think you're right. Sometimes they have, they all have bad days from time to time, or they have bad experiences. And I would hope that the guests are as kind and considerate to cast members as the cast members are to the guests. We know that's not always the case. And so for them to be able to maintain it, I mean, it's incredible. My thing is, I compare cast members at Disney to the ones that I find everywhere else I go, but especially at theme parks. And there is not a comparison. I mean,
No.
I'm sorry. Look, Six Flags, Universal, y'all got a long ways to go if you want to catch up to the guest experience in terms of how well the cast members treat the guests, because Disney sets a bar that is really, really high. And I don't know if it's that I feel like other companies don't value that part of the equation as much, which is why you don't tend to get that interaction, but there's something missing. I don't know if there's a secret sauce Disney has or whatever, but there's something missing in the equation from the Disney way to the everybody else way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
totally agree.
I prefer the Disney way 100 times out of 100 compared to the everybody else way, because it helps me feel like this was an important event for me too.
Well, and I think too, when it comes to the cast members, there is a certain level of expectation that they are going to have with the guest. And what I mean by that is, for example, at certain other theme parks, you have line cutting, you have throwing garbage on the ground, you have things that you would not expect to see at Disney. And if you were to bring that to the attention of a worker at another one of these theme parks, you may get a very shoulder shrug reaction to it. At all the Disney parks, you're going to get, well, first of all, they're just on top of that stuff. The parks are clean. They maintain order. If there is an issue, like, I feel very confident that I can go to almost any cast member and say, hey, this is happening or this has happened, and they will know what to do. And they will know, if I can't help you, I'm going to take you to the person that can help you, and we will get this resolved today. And I think, like you said, that's a culture.
Yeah.
That's a cultural thing that Disney has established. And like, I don't know why other companies don't do that. Like you said.
Well, and let me highlight one experience here. And my wife and I cover this on our other podcast, Whistle While You Work. We talked about just moments of Disney magic, right? And these moments of Disney magic always involve cast members. But I just remember one time when our children were pretty young. One was still in a stroller, and he had this thing. He was wearing these sandals, right? And it's nighttime. We're going across the bridge over Splash Mountain, and we look down and we're missing a shoe. and it was gone. And next thing you know, we were missing 2 shoes, and it was gone. And our best guess was, while we were watching the logs come down Splash Mountain to watch the splash, he decided to kick his shoes into
He
the
created
water.
his own log flume.
He did. They were gone. And I remember we were sitting there, we were still a young family, a Disney trip doesn't matter what your resources are. It's expensive, right? And so resources were a little bit thin. And I remember at some point, my wife went to ask a cast member, hey, is there anything we can do? We think he's kicked his sandals into the water. And of course, they're not going to shut the ride down to go look for these shoes in the dark you can't find or whatever like that. Most places have been like, sorry, nothing I can do. You could check lost and found in a couple of days. But his cast member, in their discretion and per their training and availability, said, hey, we have some shoes over here. Why don't you just go pick out a pair for him, right?
Wow.
I mean, it was at no cost, no charge to us. And I'm not saying every experience is going to be like this, but that's the kind of thing when they just find ways to go out, and you'll never forget that.
You never will. Well, to all the cast members who may listen to this podcast, we thank you. We appreciate you, and we know that what you do is not easy, and we just really respect and appreciate all that you do for those that go to the park. So, all right. So next on this list, I thought was which was interesting, being thankful for, was the way Walt Disney World, and I guess the company itself, preserves history. And I wanted to read this. So this is from the article. So Disney World, the Magic Kingdom in particular, is dripping in authentic company history. For example, who doesn't love checking out the storefront windows on Main Street, USA? Almost every window features the name of a fictitious company inspired by one of the original Imagineers. And beyond that stretch, the park is full of opening day attractions and authentic Disneyland attraction copies. You can't be helped but feel amazed by Walt's I forgot my glasses. I'm butchering this. Anyway, I won't read the rest of that, but you kind of get where I'm going. How Disney does take this, what they have, and they respect their history. And I think it's not just with the attractions. I think if you look at, and maybe this is a little bit more of the patriotic side, but the flag ceremony in the parks.
Have you all ever done that?
Yep.
Oh, it's moving. Like, it is a very moving experience. So yeah, I agree.
And I think that's just a testament to Walt himself, for one, who understood that, this is going to be a progressive machine. Like, we're always going to be changing. We're always going to be thinking ahead to the future, but we're going to respect the past. We're going to respect where we came from. And I think they do such a great job. And as much as me, harp on attractions like Small World, which I would be totally like, if they were to get rid of it, I'm like, well, maybe I'm kind of sad by that. Even though I don't ride that much anymore, do I want to see that attraction leave the park? I don't know if I do or not, because I think there's so much history and nostalgia to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I would say is, I think for a lot of people, the appeal that Disney brings is that nostalgia, right? Like, if you grew up watching the Disney Channel or watching some of the old Buena Vista, shows, Old Yeller and some of these, older shows, Pirates for that matter, or not Pirates, Treasure Island and all that. There's just this feeling, right? There's this nostalgic feeling that brings you back to your childhood. And I think it just creates an environment that is unlike any other, right? It's and I'm a big Disney history. I think we've talked about this before. I love Disney history. Like, if I could go back to any time in Disney history, I would absolutely go back to the late 50s, early 60s of Disney, the Mickey Mouse Club, Mouseketeers, all that. I love it. I love Disney history. So I'm absolutely thankful for Disney's preservation of their history and keeping that nostalgic feeling alive and going in the parks, so that it can help me tap back into, that feeling I had as a kid. And honestly, like, it goes across the board. It's not just the parks. It's even in like Disney Plus. Like, my girls love watching the old Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck shorts and stuff like that
absolutely.
Are on Disney Plus right now. So anyway, good call.
And I agree with both of you. I don't have anything substantive to add to that. I mean, seriously. I mean, I agree. I think they preserve it so well. I wouldn't go back and live in that time personally. I like where we're at, but, because I can't imagine a world without the Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. But, I agree. I mean, what they've done has been incredible, and the preservation of that legacy is so important to the future of the company, because if you lose track ultimately of where you came from, you'll have a really hard time knowing where you're going.
Yeah, for sure.
I think we could make this episode 5 hours long, talking about everything that we are grateful for when it comes to Disney, the parks, the company, Walt Disney himself. Let's just do one more from this list. And I thought this was very interesting that this author put this. This was her last thing that she put on her list, and it was that she is thankful for Disney fans. And I thought that was interesting. We are doing this podcast because there is a community of Disney people out there that just love Disney. They love to talk about it. They love to go to the parks. They love the memories that they make in the parks. And I think it is this very special community of people that exist right now and has for quite some time that makes doing something like this so special and so fun. So to be thankful for that community, that you can go on Instagram or Facebook, or where you're, the funny memes of you're in the grocery store and you hear somebody talking about Disney and your ears perk up because you're like, oh, let me go introduce myself to that person that I've never seen before. And let's talk about Disney.
Yeah.
That is something that I feel like is fairly unique to that Disney community. And it would be hard not to recognize how thankful we are for the Disney fan community.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's one of the best parts of, like, when you're going to the parks, or we've been on cruises before, and you're with your people, right? Like, you feel it. Like, I'll tell you what, just a real quick story is, we were on a Disney cruise and we decided to go to some of the trivia games they were playing, and we thought we knew Disney, right? Like, we were like, dude, we're going to own these people. And we got in there, and there were people that were just as crazy and fanatical as we were. And to the point where my daughter's looking at me like, who are you?
Step up,
Like,
dude.
Yeah,
Like,
come on.
I thought you loved Disney.
Let's go. Yeah, exactly. And so, and I mean, they're asking some of the most obscure Disney trivia questions that you can think of in some cases. And people, whoops, hit the table here. People were nailing it. Like they were just on it. And so, and it was everything from like cartoons to the music to everything.
Yeah.
And so it is, but above and beyond that, I think just one of the great things, and we brought this up before, is when you're in lines, in the queues at the parks, and you just strike up conversations with people, and you just build these friendships in this community of fellow Disney lovers. It makes the parks that much more enjoyable.
You know, I'll just say, and I think it ties everything we're doing up here nicely into a bow. You know, we do this, and we obviously are big advocates for the Walt Disney Corporation, but we receive no compensation from them whatsoever.
Nope.
We get no money, we
in
get
the
no
red with
tickets,
this
we get no discounts, we get nothing, right? And we started this show because of our mutual love of Disney, and because of how it helps us escape to kind of those other places there. And I agree. It's so cool that there's so many other people out there like that. And we love when we have those opportunities to kind of add people to our little community of fans and whatever that looks like, because of that shared joy that we all have, because of the memories that we all are able to create and then share with each other. Right. I mean, you go to a holiday party and Aunt Susie brings out like her picture book of look at this vacation, and everyone like rolls their eyes and their yawn. But when we get together with Disney fans and we start talking about our experiences, we all want to hear about it, right? We want to show me the pictures, show me what you did, tell me what happened, how did it go, it's never ending questions to each other. And I think that's something that's a little unique. Right?
Look, I don't care how many times I've gone. There's a tinge of jealousy.
Yep.
Whenever I hear about someone else,
anybody else,
yeah,
especially when it's one of you two.
Yeah,
We are all going to a Disney park in the next month and a half.
Yeah,
and I am jealous of you two.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah.
Even though I
100%.
will be at Disneyland in a month, I'm still jealous of you two being at Disney World, and of course you're at Disneyland Paris right now, Dex. So.
yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But you're
100%.
right.
So I think it's great. Super grateful for the fans, but most importantly, grateful for the man himself.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
thanks Walt, for sharing your vision, for sharing your passion, for sharing your talent, for allowing us to find a place where we could escape to the magic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well put.
All right. So let's do a quick magical scenario to finish up the episode, and then we'll call it a day, and then people can go get ready for their turkeys and their cranberry sauce and their football. So
And their Christmas trees.
and their Christmas trees. That's right. All right. So here's pretty basic one. So magical scenario is if you could work any job within the Walt Disney Corporation, and let's rule out CEO. Of course, we'd all like Bob Iger's paycheck.
top executive jobs off the table.
Yeah. Who wouldn't want that, right?
No.
And let's even rule out maybe Imagineers, right? I think all of us would love to be an Imagineer and come up with rides. So just anything from your regular cast member within the park to there's a Disney Plus series that I just absolutely love. It's called One Day at Disney, and it just talks about all the different types of jobs within the Disney Corporation. So if you could do any Disney job and work for the Disney Corporation, where would you go? What would you do?
Well, I've got mine.
Let's go.
I don't know if this job actually exists. I would think it probably does, but if it doesn't, to the Disney execs out there, I would do this job for you. I would love to be that person in the park that literally just walks around and finds a family, finds a child, finds that newly married couple, and just goes up to them and says, "Hey, I've got a surprise for you. Why don't you come with me?"
This job does exist.
I would assume that
Yeah.
it would. Yeah.
When we did the Keys of the Kingdom, so it's a behind the scenes tour of the Magic Kingdom, we actually asked a cast member that was giving the tour, what's been your most magical experience working at Disney? And she told us that back when they did, what was that, 100 Dreams or whatever it was, 50 Dreams, they did this promo, And that was her job. Every day, her job was to find and identify a family that they could basically give this magical scenario to. And one of the families she ended up choosing got to spend a night at the castle.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Can you
awesome.
believe that?
Yeah. That's all I think I'd want to do is just find families, find individuals, find people that I could, give them just an amazing experience. Just elevate their experience they already are having and just make it that much better. And just, I don't want to resolve complaints. I just want to make people's lives happier than they already are. I think that's what I'd want to do.
That'd be awesome.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Once you took Imagineers off the table, I was like, well, okay,
I mean,
let me see.
You could be.
I think it's a little bit between one of these two. So I guess I want to be the guy that pushes the button to blow up the fireworks.
Could you imagine?
That'd be pretty awesome.
I mean, that'd be kind of cool. But without really knowing what that looks like, I'm like, is that what I really want to do? I don't know. But after every time a ride goes down, they have to do some testing.
Oh.
And when they test it, someone ultimately has to go on it before they put all the other people on there. I think I want to be the tester.
The tester.
Little exciting because you don't know if it's going to work or not.
Oh my gosh.
Like the early Imagineers when they're
right. But I think I'd like to be the tester. I want to be in the parks. Let me put it this way.
Yeah.
Of all the things, I want to be in the parks doing that. There's so many things you could do that would be a lot of fun if I couldn't be an executive, because if I was an executive, then I could go to the parks when I wanted.
Oh, that'd be nice.
So that would be kind of cool, but we took that off the table too. Yeah.
So for me, I love working outside. I love, working. My regular job is not a hands-on, get your fingernails dirty type of job. And so I love doing that stuff in my spare time. So actually from that series, One Day at Disney, there's a ranch, and it's not a ranch. It's an actual backlot and studios up in the mountains of California, but it is where they have sound stages and all kinds of, like, Old Yeller was filmed there, Pirates was filmed there, and it's called the Golden Oaks Ranch. And there's a little mini short on Disney Plus about this guy who runs the ranch, and that's all he does all day long is just runs this ranch. Or the other one that I thought of is Adventures by Disney. So that's a whole week-long experience, and there's one up in Wyoming in the lake, or in the Jackson Hole and Yellowstone area, where you run a ranch with horses and all kinds of stuff. And so, man, I think that'd be great to just do that type of work and go out there. And
interesting.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, I'd love it.
It'd be cold.
Yeah, I'd probably prefer the California ranch over the Wyoming ranch. I grew up in that area. Winters are not fun there, so I would definitely choose the California one.
The Southern California climate's gonna be a little more,
and I think it'd be cool. You're gonna meet a lot of the actors.
Oh,
and stuff.
sure.
Like I think Marvel's has a couple of scenes there.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's a whole thing. A lot of the production studio companies use the Golden Oak Ranch.
Well, I think that's awesome. I think that there's so many things that you can do. And there's so many things that we could be thankful for. There's so many scenarios that we can imagine. I will just add one last thing. I'm grateful that sometimes I can bring a little piece of Disney home with me and help me remember some of those things. One of those ways, of course, is through the gift of scent. And so if you ever want to do that too, the Magic Candle Company produces many, many great candles and other scents that are inspired by and sometimes directly related to the smells you'll find in the parks and in the properties. Visit Magic Candle Company online and use our promo code ESCAPE to save 15%. Great deal. Just in time for the holidays.
Yeah. That'd be a great little stocking stuffer or little gift to give to a couple of coworkers. Let them
get you a tiki warmer.
Yeah, get you a little Dole Whip scent going through the office. Who wouldn't want that?
Oh man, I'd go for Dole Whip right now.
You had to say it, Dak.
Yeah.
Yep. Maybe you should put some Dole Whip on our social media, Ryan.
Oh. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, some Dole Whip and
it's like, where are you going with
Where are
it?
you going with it? No. So, yeah, check us out on social media, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. We are on there, Escape to the Magic Podcast. We are, fairly active, mostly on Instagram. We're ramping up the Facebook and TikTok. But if you have a question, you want to send us a message, look us up on Instagram. If you have a question you want us to answer on the show, we'd love to do that. If you want to send us your own magical scenario that we can play, we'd love to do that as well. Give us a review, Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcast. We'll read those on the air as well. So thank you guys so much. This was a fun episode. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you who are listening.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving. See you next week.
Bye, guys.